You ever notice how the loudest alarm bells in life sometimes come from the quietest people? That's how this whole thing started for me and my daughter Ellie. I mean, here I was thinking I built this bulletproof, life-successful company, beautiful house, even managed to keep the garden alive, which, believe me, felt like a miracle after everything we'd been through. And yet, it took a 6-year-old with a head full of wild red hair to warn me I was inviting a wolf straight into our living room. Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a sec because if you're a parent or ever loved a kid, you know what I mean when I say sometimes you just miss the obvious, blinded by hope, or maybe just plain loneliness. My wife Sarah passed 2 years back. That grief, man, it rearranges your insides. I thought if I kept Ellie safe and happy, kept the lights on and her little world spinning, I was doing my job. But grief makes you hungry for comfort, for family. So when Clara came along, all smiles and warm words, talking about child psychology degrees and how she loved blended families, I wanted to believe her. I wanted it so bad, I ignored what was right in front of me. That morning, sunlight flooding the kitchen, I watched Ellie pushing cereal around her bowl, head down, not eating. She looked smaller than usual, lost in a way I'd never seen before. I tried to reach her. "You're not eating, sweetheart," but she just looked past me, eyes flicking toward the stairs, like she was waiting for someone, or maybe for someone to leave. She hadn't been the same since Clara moved in. I chalked it up to adjustment. Kids push back against change, right? That's what all the books say. But this was different. She pulled her hand away from mine like it was fire, scrambled from the table, and ran upstairs, orange juice sloshing, leaving me holding the glass and wondering if I just failed some invisible parenting test. Clara glided in always put together, never a hair out of place, and she did that thing where she'd stand behind me, lay her hands on my shoulders and speak soft, all therapist-like. "She's just processing, Nathan. Give her space." Sounded reasonable. I let myself believe it, even when the house got too quiet, and that little voice, the one that sounded a lot like Sarah, started whispering that I should follow my gut. And then there was Lauren. I'd hired her to help with after-school stuff, hoping maybe Ellie needed a woman around, someone safe. Clara bristled when I brought it up some effing about mixed messages and primary caregivers, but I brushed it off. I figured the more loving adults in Ellie's orbit, the better. I couldn't see, not yet, that Clara had her own plans. You ever get that itch between your shoulders, like you're missing something huge? That was me. All my business smarts, my ability to sniff out a lie in a boardroom. None of it helped me figure out what was happening with the most important person in my life. 3 days later, I'm buried in work, and Ellie appears in my doorway, clutching her stuffed elephant. "Daddy," she says, and I know right then something's wrong. She climbs onto my lap, voice shaking. "Where's Clara?" "Spa day with her sister," I tell her. "Daddy, I need to tell you something." You know that sinking feeling when you already know the truth before you hear it. That's what I felt. Ellie, 6 years old, tells me Clara tried to push her into the pool. She grabbed my arm so tight, Daddy. Lauren saw, and Clara pretended we were playing. I want to believe it's a misunderstanding, but I asked to see her arm on there. They are 5 fading bruises like a brand. My heart just drops. Ellie's never lied to me, not about anything big. And now she's got this look on her face, fear, but also relief because she finally got it out. And that's when the twist hits. Lauren saw it all, too. Later, she tells me, what I saw wasn't normal. Clara changed as soon as she saw me. Your daughter's afraid of her. Now I'm in free fall. Suddenly, all those little moments, the cold shoulder at breakfast, Ellie shrinking away from Clara, the way she lit up around Lauren make sickening sense. That night, after Ellie's asleep, I dig into our home security footage. Turns out I'm not just a clueless dad, I am a blind one. The videos show Clara gripping Ellie, dragging her by the arm, berating her over homework, shoving her workbook across the room. Again and again, she morphs from loving fiancé to predator when no one else is looking. You know that scene in every thriller where the hero finally sees the villain's true face? That's me at 2 a.m. in my bathrobe, shaking with anger and guilt. I call my friend Mark, a police investigator, good guy, sharp. "Mark, I need a background check." Now, what comes back is worse than I imagined. Clara isn't Clarash, Clara Manning, with restraining orders, dropped child endangerment charges, even a dead stepson in her wake. You need to be careful, Mark warns. Women like her, they escalate when cornered. We'll set a trap. Get proof. We do. I fake a business trip, but really, I'm holed up in my office downtown, watching the feeds. Lauren's in on it, ready to swoop in. The second I'm gone, Clara turns on Ellie, threatens her, talks about making little girls disappear, brings up the Colorado case. I call Mark, race home. I watch, helpless, as Clara corners Ellie, threatens her life. When I finally bust in, she's got her hands on Ellie's throat, lying through her teeth, playing the concerned parent. Ellie's having an episode, Nathan. She needs help, but I'm done being fooled. I show her the footage, call the cops, and watch as Mark's team cuffs her, reads her rights while she spits venom. You'll regret this. That child will ruin you. But all I care about is Ellie, her small hand in mine, her whispered, I knew you'd come, Daddy. A year later, the scars are still there, but so is the strength. Ellie's wary, careful, but also brave. She bakes cookies with Lauren, checks new faces for the mask she's learned to spot. Her therapist says she's an old soul. I say she's a survivor. We talk honestly about what happened. I tell her she has superpowers now, that her instincts matter, and that I'll always listen. Always. Sometimes I wonder how close I came to losing hair if I hadn't listened, hadn't believed the little voice that warned me. But now, every time she hugs me, every time she asks for extra chocolate chips in the cookies or laughs with Lauren in the kitchen, I remember gentleness isn't weakness, and the smallest voices can be the bravest. So here's my ask for you: if you got kids or grandkids or just someone you care about, listen to them. Even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when the truth threatens everything you thought you knew. Sometimes it's the only thing standing between you and disaster. And sometimes, just sometimes, it saves your soul. Now it's your turn. What would you have done in my place? Where's the line between trust and vigilance? Share your thoughts below, because justice, love, and community, they all start with believing the right people. And sometimes those people are the ones with the smallest voices in the room.